Tinubu is a failure. Under his watch, Nigerians are crowdfunding to pay ransom to kidnappers, yet the government is silent on this. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching us from. Welcome to BMS News. The video that is showing on your screen now is where kidnappers killed teenage girl adopted along with her mother and 3 siblings in Abuja after family failed to pay 60 million ransom. A secondary school student, Foroshon Ariyo, who was kidnapped in the dust axis of the Federal Capital Territory (FCT), has been killed by her abductors. Guys, the video that is showing on your screen is the burial of the girl. LIB reported that gunmen invaded Sagwari Layout Estate in Docks on Sunday, January 7, 2024, and kidnapped 10 residents, including Ms. Ariyo, her mother, and 3 siblings. It was gathered that Florisho and Nabela Al-Kadri remains were among 4 corpses of kidnapped victims dumped at Eda, near Usha in Baware Area Council. According to the Nigerian Tribune, the teenager was the daughter of Ekiti State Born Chief, legal officer of the National University Commission. Family source told the publication that the kidnappers had demanded the sum of 60 million ransom to release members of the Ariyo family, who could only raise about 5 million. Talks were still ongoing, and as of last Friday, we are optimistic of a positive outcome until we were contacted to pick up her body, a family source said. The teenage girl was buried on Saturday, 14th January 2024, in Dutch Cemetery, Abuja, while the other members of the family remain with their abductors. What is happening in Nigeria? Recently, 41 passengers kidnapped as gunmen attack commercial vehicle, demand 135 million ransom. Tinubu is a failure. A president who can do this just to grab power can still be mute when those he has bribed start misbehaving. And this is what is happening in Nigeria today.
I have worked with His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi in Onitsha about 17 years ago as a commanding officer. Before he came to Onitsha to take over from Dr. Chris Ngige, during the time of Chris Ngige, there was no Operation Mesa in the whole of Anambra State, for reasons best known to them then. But when he came, he took over. He drove straight to the barrack and asked. And when we briefed him, he now went back and Operation Mesa was restored a week later or thereabout. As at that time, it was like a no man's land in Onitsha. 33 you cannot go. Ogbaru you cannot go. Then talk less of the other areas. When it was restored, I was the officer in charge of the internal security operations. I was collocated with artillery regiment, but as a commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel, I was in charge of the operations. Believe me, within 2 weeks or thereabout, everything was tackled. Onitsha became free. You couldn't go out. The police was sacked. And that was why I believe that after about 6 months to 1 year, the police actually acknowledged that Anambra was a peaceful, most peaceful state in the country as at that time. So that was where I knew him. And I saw the character of integrity. In short, for me, I was calling him Commissioner of Defense because he was in command and in control. He had the interest. And I said, this man, he does not allow the resources that comes to the military or whatever to pass through anybody straight. Our challenge was patrol vehicles, no mobility. in a sweep. When you say, what is the problem? He provided it immediately. Following his record.
Tribalism is what is killing Nigeria. We know people who can do the work, but tribe will not allow us. Look at what this man wrote. I will never vote for Igbo man as president. I would rather just watch myself and family get tortured, lynched, or suffer in the hands of every terror groups than to vote for an Igbo man. What is happening today?
The state governor, Mr. Peter Obi, in the company of numerous heavily armed security agents, stormed the compound of a notorious criminal suspect, Olisa Ifejika, said to have specialized in armed robbery and kidnapping, to carry out an action that will linger in the memory of the people.
This state made a law that if your property is used for this criminal activity, the state will confiscate the property, will demolish the property, and this particular property represents the worst of it.
The demolition followed the arrest of the suspect and the recovery of assorted arms and ammunition hidden in plastic containers concealed behind the bungalow. The Anambra State Commissioner of Police said Mr. Ifejika had been on the list of most wanted criminal suspects in 2001 and linked to a series of high-profile crimes including armed robbery and kidnapping.
The following arms and ammunition were recovered from an underground armory in his house. Number 1, 27 AK-47 rifles, 1 K2 rifle, 2 Type 06 rifles, 1 general purpose machine gun, 1 rocket launcher, 17 rockets, 6 pump actions gun, 3 den guns, 1 Beretta pistol, 13 rocket grenades.
The governor appears set to see the suspect's business empire crumble completely.
We will go after his businesses. We will go after the business of all that is involved in this criminality. I heard that he operates a hotel in Omaya. When I get back to the office now, I'm going to contact my senior brother in Omaya and request that that hotel be sealed.
The demolished structures comprise a bungalow, a 2-story building, and an extended building behind the bungalow, suspected to be a cell where kidnapped victims were kept in custody. The building had initially been partly razed by the police during the operation that led to the arrest of the suspect. The police confirmed he was in his residence drinking at the time of arrest at about 8 a.m. on Monday, September 3rd. The suspect's father is a native doctor, while his mother is a petty trader dealing in women's underwear. Both are currently in police custody. Some of the villagers said the suspect started with petty pilfering, then to community theft, before going full blast on sophisticated banditry. They commended the government for the bold step taken to rid the state of crime.
We're indigenous of this very town, but we don't even know that this kind of thing is happening here. But since we have noticed, we are very happy to see the policemen, even the governor himself is here present, and the commissioner of police to witness what is happening here. So we are very happy.
Where government did do a package very well.
2 earth-moving machines were not enough to cool down the buildings, and then the excavator descended on the story building like the owner would on his victims, tearing apart the roof, pulling down the walls, and knocking down the stubborn beams. The governor had these words for the youth.
We have money given to people to go into agriculture, microcredit. We have various forms of microcredit. SMEs are being given loans to Bank of Industry. We're doing everything possible to ensure, and there's so many things people can do. This state is lack of tilers, bricklayers, everything. And we're urging people to get into purposeful life. We can no longer continue this way of life.
Advice also came from the State Commissioner for Youth and Sports while using the avenue to highlight government's efforts in championing youth affairs.
Youths have to come out of their shelves. They should stop going to look at people who have made it. They should look at what reasonable things to do for themselves. You'll be able to engage yourself in something serious. If you are hardworking, you must get something to do. We have a lot of programs for the youths to learn trade. There are so many things to learn. People don't want to go and do carpentry again. People don't want to do plumbing. People don't want to do fashion design. People don't want.
Tinubu has failed as a president. No wonder Nigerians are yearning for revolution. Guys, if this is your first time of watching our channel, please subscribe to this channel.